You know that moment when you realize you've been playing a game, but nobody ever told you the rules? And the people keeping score? They keep changing what it takes to win. For me, that game was trying to earn love from people who were never planning to give it freely. Hey there, come on in. I'm May, and honestly, I never thought I'd be sitting here telling this story. But here we are, and I'm calling this little corner of the internet Let Go Live On. Look, I'm not a therapist. I can barely keep my houseplants alive, okay? I'm just someone who's been through some really messy family stuff and somehow made it to the other side without completely losing my mind. If you've ever felt like you're the family scapegoat, or if you've spent years wondering whether you're actually the crazy one, grab a cup of tea. We need to talk. From as far back as I can remember, I felt unloved by my mom. Not just overlooked, you know? Actually unloved. I felt abandoned in my own home, like I was this unwanted guest who somehow never got the hint to leave. There's this thing that happens when you grow up feeling unwanted. You start to believe that your very existence is somehow wrong. Like you're taking up space that belongs to someone else, breathing air that should go to someone more deserving. And here's the thing that really messed with my head. I was told I should be grateful for this. Grateful that I even existed at all. So my maternal aunt, she pulls me aside one day when I was just 10 years old and tells me something I'll never forget. She looks me dead in the eye and says I should literally worship my mother. And I'm standing there thinking, okay, that's pretty intense, Andy.
But why?
What did I do? Because apparently, and get this, my mom had so many suitors that they formed a 30-kilometer queue. A 30-kilometer queue. I mean, can you even picture that? That's enough to stretch across an entire city. And they're asking for my mother's hand in marriage. And out of all these supposedly amazing options, she chose my father. Therefore, and here's the logic that somehow made sense to a room full of adults, I owed my entire existence to her generous choice. But you know why she suddenly felt the need to tell a 10-year-old child this? It wasn't some random moment of family wisdom. My parents had just had this massive fight the night before. Screaming, door slamming, the whole 9 yards. And this beloved aunt of mine? She decided it was the perfect time to take revenge on Daddy's little girl. Think about that for a second. A 10-year-old is standing there, probably still shaken from hearing her parents tear each other apart, and instead of comfort, instead of protection, she gets a lecture about how she should be grateful she was even born. You know what that teaches a child? It teaches you that you're not here by right. You're here by permission. And that permission? It can be revoked at any time if you don't perform well enough. If you pick the wrong side. If you love the wrong parent too much. So my dad, he had this temper, and I'm not going to sugarcoat that. But here's what I started noticing as I got older. My mother had this talent for pushing his buttons. She'd call him names. Pauper. Worthless. Your whole family has bad temper, and then act shocked when he'd explode. I used to think he was the problem, you know? Like, why can't you just ignore her? Why do you have to yell back? But now I get it. She wasn't just insulting him. She was performing for an audience. Her mother, her sister, whoever would listen to her play the victim afterward. And me? I was this kid just trying to make it stop. Trying to be good enough, quiet enough, perfect enough to somehow bring peace to a house that was never designed for peace in the first place. If you grew up walking on eggshells in your own home, you know exactly what I'm talking about, don't you? So, what was I actually watching all those years? My dad slowly giving up on trying to change my mother and just managing her instead. She couldn't clean the kitchen properly. He'd redo it after her. She'd make a mess mopping the floor. He'd get out there with a towel and clean up the streaks. Every single time. He thought he was being loving. He thought he was keeping the peace. But really, he was teaching all of us that love means cleaning up other people's messes and never, ever asking them to do better. This is how these patterns get handed down generation after generation. It's not one big traumatic event, though those happen too. It's thousands of tiny moments where someone chooses to enable chaos instead of demanding change. Listen, if any of this is hitting a little too close to home right now, I just need you to know something. You're not alone in this. That feeling of never being enough, of having to earn basic kindness, of carrying guilt just for existing, none of that is your fault. Next week, I'm going to tell you what happened when my dad got cancer. And fair warning, it gets darker before it gets better. We'll talk about what happens when the people who should be protecting you start enabling the very thing that's destroying you. If this story is feeling familiar, do me a favor and hit that like button. Subscribe if you want to stick around for the rest. And if you feel safe doing it, share a bit of your own story in the comments. We're building something here, a place where these experiences actually matter and where healing isn't just some abstract concept. Until next time, remember this: your worth was never up for negotiation. It never should have been.